Hey Raiders Nation, buckle up because things are about to get interesting as we dive into the latest updates and potential moves for our Las Vegas Raiders. The offseason is shaping up to be one of the most unpredictable in recent memory, and if you're a fan, you already know just how much needs to get addressed before the team hits the field next season. Starting at the tight end position, the Raiders are actually in a decent spot. With Brock Bowers and Michael Mayer already in the mix, there's a solid foundation, but depth is key, especially with Ian Thomas hitting free agency. Thomas has been a reliable blocker and stepped up admirably when Bowers was sidelined. It's clear that adding another dynamic option to complement this group could make a huge difference when injuries inevitably strike or when the offense needs to flex in critical situations. Moving on to the backfield, running back is emerging as a pressing concern. Ashton Jenney is positioned to be the lead back, and he's shown flashes of being a bell cow, but beyond him, the depth chart is worryingly thin. With Mostert and Zeus both leaving in free agency, the Raiders will need to secure at least one or two additional backs to ensure the team doesn't hit a wall once the grind of the season begins. Collier and Lobe offer some intrigue, but there isn't enough confidence in their ability to carry a significant load. Free agency or the draft will be pivotal in this area, and the front office needs to move decisively to avoid a repeat of last season's depth issues. Offensive tackle might come as a surprise to some fans as a need, but it's ranking high on the list for a reason. Charles Grant, a promising third-round pick, has shown potential, but experience is limited, and the Raiders need reliability on the edge. With Colton Miller returning, there's a possibility of shuffling Grant to the right side, but questions remain about DJ Glaze's consistency and overall readiness. Adding another offensive tackle would not only strengthen depth, but also create flexibility and competition that could push the starters to perform at a higher level. Protecting the quarterback and establishing a strong edge is non-negotiable for the Raiders if they want to compete in a physically demanding division. Shifting to the defensive side, safety has become a nuanced puzzle. Strong safety is well covered with recent acquisitions, and players like Isaiah Paul Lamaw and Jeremy Chin could thrive in specialized roles. Yet the team is crying out for a true free safety. The Raiders currently lack a central figure to patrol the deep field, and having cornerbacks and safeties masquerading as center fielders has been a weakness the defense cannot afford. Addressing this position with a legitimate, instinctive free safety would shore up the secondary and reduce the vulnerability to deep passes that plagued the team last season. The impact of a top-tier free safety is often understated, but for a team that relies on big plays and sudden stops, this position can be a game-changer. The wide receiver group also demands attention. While Trey Tucker and Jack Besh have potential, the lack of proven depth is concerning, especially if the Raiders are targeting a new franchise quarterback early in the draft. Adding a versatile, reliable receiver would not only complement the existing roster, but also give the quarterback a trustworthy weapon on critical downs. Developing Dante Thornton as a project player is promising, but relying solely on this trio is risky in a league where defensive schemes are increasingly complex and aggressive. A top-notch addition could elevate the entire passing game and provide balance to the offensive attack. Linebacker is another position that cannot be overlooked. With the potential departure of veterans like Jamal Adams, Devin White, and Landon Roberts, the Raiders may be leaning on an inexperienced core that lacks the proven leadership needed in high-pressure moments. While developing young talent is part of the process, acquiring a dependable linebacker through free agency or the draft would anchor the unit and provide immediate impact. The middle of the field is where games are often won or lost, and the Raiders need someone who can diagnose plays, fill gaps, and deliver consistent tackles week after week. Without reinforcement here, the defense risks being overexposed against physical, versatile opponents. Cornerback depth also poses a challenge. Darian Porter provides a solid foundation, but the departure of Eric Stokes leaves a significant void. The nickel position is especially concerning, as players currently in that role have yet to prove their readiness for regular season action. Adding a skilled outside corner and a reliable nickelback will be critical, especially as opposing offenses continue to exploit matchups in creative ways. Developing young corners is part of the equation, but experience matters. And this is an area where the Raiders cannot afford to gamble with raw talent alone. Defensive end and interior defensive line play are equally pressing. Losing Malcolm Cowan is a setback, though manageable, but the front four overall needs reinforcement. Tyree Wilson has potential at a three-technique role, and Max's offseason recovery is promising. Yet without additional support, the defensive line risks being overmatched against power-heavy offenses. The interior defensive tackle room, in particular, is thin and inconsistent. Players like J.J. Pages, Taka Hemingway, and Thomas Booker offer flashes, but a top-tier addition would transform the defensive front and allow the unit to dictate the line of scrimmage rather than merely react to it. For a team that wants to compete at the highest level, building dominance in the trenches is essential. The interior offensive line is another glaring area for improvement. While JPJ brings talent to the table, the departures of Dylan Parms, Jordan Meredith, and the uncertain future of Alex Kappa leave substantial gaps. Caleb Rogers, despite flashes of potential, cannot yet be relied upon as a cornerstone starter. Strengthening the guard and center positions is crucial to protect the quarterback and provide stability for the run game. Without this foundation, offensive schemes will struggle to gain traction regardless of the talent skill positions bring to the table. Finally, the most urgent priority for the Raiders heading into the upcoming season is clearly quarterback. With Aiden O'Connell as the only viable option, Cam Miller claimed by Miami, Kenny Pickett entering free agency, and Geno Smith providing more questions than answers, securing a franchise quarterback is non-negotiable. Whether the team targets Fernando Mendoza or Dante Moore, adding a player capable of leading this team long-term is the defining move for the Raiders. Every decision made elsewhere in the offseason ultimately revolves around this choice, as the quarterback will dictate the rhythm, strategy, and overall success of the offense for years to come. As we continue breaking down the Raiders' offseason priorities, it's impossible not to notice just how much work lies ahead for this team. Beyond the quarterback position, every layer of the roster demands attention, from skill players to the trenches and even special teams. Building a team that can compete in a brutal division requires balance, depth, and strategic acquisitions that complement the talent already on the roster. For example, the wide receiver room will be critical to the success of any new quarterback. While Trey Tucker and Jack Besh have shown flashes, the team needs a reliable, versatile receiver who can create separation against top cornerbacks and stretch the field. Developing a young project like Dante Thornton is fine, but it will take time, and in the meantime, a proven pass catcher could be the difference between close losses and dominant wins. Running back remains an area that could make or break the Raiders' offensive efficiency next season. Ashton Jenney is set to be the bell cow, but with Moster and Zeus walking away in free agency, the depth chart is thin, and injuries can happen at any moment. Finding one or two reliable backs who can spell Jenney while maintaining production will be essential. Whether through the draft or free agency, securing those players will give the Raiders more flexibility in game planning and ensure the running game remains dynamic throughout the season. A strong committee approach might also help balance wear and tear, keeping the offense fresh for a long and grueling campaign. Turning to the offensive line, the Raiders' interior is in desperate need of reinforcement. JPJ brings talent and experience, but Dylan Parm's departure, along with Alex Kappa's uncertain status and Jordan Meredith hitting free agency, leaves dangerous gaps. Caleb Rogers, despite flashes of potential, cannot yet be trusted as a full-time starter. Upgrading guard and center positions will solidify the line, protect the quarterback, and allow the running game to function smoothly. In today's NFL, controlling the line of scrimmage is the foundation for sustained success, and without dependable starters here, the offense risks being one-dimensional, which opposing defenses will quickly exploit. Defensive depth is another critical piece of the puzzle. The Raiders have promising young talents, but relying on inexperience at linebacker, cornerback, and safety is a gamble in a division loaded with physical, well-coached teams. Adding a true free safety will give the secondary the stability it desperately needs, while a strong linebacker presence can anchor the middle of the defense. Experience matters in high-pressure situations, and the Raiders need veterans and proven playmakers alongside the younger talent to avoid collapsing against top-tier competition. Without this, the defense risks allowing big plays in crucial moments, undermining the progress the team has made elsewhere. Defensive line play, both on the edge and inside, cannot be overlooked either. Malcolm Cown's departure is significant, and while Thierry Wilson has potential at 3 technique, the unit still needs reinforcements. Max's off-season recovery is encouraging, but he cannot carry the line alone. The interior defensive tackle room is particularly concerning, with limited options beyond J.J. Pages, Taka Hemingway, and Thomas Booker. This unit will dictate how effective the pass rush can be and whether opposing running games are contained. Building depth and quality here is non-negotiable, as dominant trench play often translates into game-changing turnovers and momentum swings, which the Raiders cannot afford to miss. The cornerback position also requires attention. While Darian Porter provides a steady presence, the departure of Eric Stokes leaves a void that must be addressed immediately. The nickel corner position has been inconsistent, and the team cannot afford to rely solely on raw talent or practice squad players in high-pressure matchups. Adding an experienced outside cornerback and a reliable nickel defender will stabilize the secondary and allow the Raiders to defend against increasingly creative passing attacks. In a league where quarterbacks are aggressive and offenses are dynamic, depth and quality at cornerback are essential to prevent giving up explosive plays. As we move closer to the top priorities, it's clear that every decision made this offseason revolves around one central theme: establishing a long-term quarterback solution. Aiden O'Connell is currently the only viable option on the roster, with Cam Miller claimed by Miami, Kenny Pickett entering free agency, and Geno Smith providing more questions than answers. Landing a franchise quarterback, whether Fernando Mendoza or Dante Moore, is the defining move that will shape the direction of this team for years. Every acquisition, draft pick, and strategic decision will be evaluated through the lens of how it complements this quarterback and maximizes the team's potential to compete at a high level. Even with a new quarterback in place, the Raiders must surround him with weapons and protect him properly. The wide receiver room, offensive line, and running backs will be instrumental in helping the signal caller succeed. Without a reliable support system, even the most talented quarterback will struggle to make an impact in a division as physically demanding as the AFC West. Building this infrastructure around the offense is just as important as adding talent in the trenches or on defense, because it ensures that the team can execute its game plan efficiently and consistently, week in and week out. The Raiders' defense, while showing promise in certain areas, will also need significant upgrades. Strong safety depth exists, but the free safety position is a glaring weakness, and linebacker depth is untested. Adding experienced players at these positions, while continuing to develop the younger core, will give the team balance and allow it to handle the multifaceted offenses they will face. Similarly, the defensive line must be reinforced to maintain pressure on opposing quarterbacks and control the run game. Without these reinforcements, the team risks being overpowered by more complete rosters, particularly late in games when fatigue and injuries set in. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Las Vegas Raiders. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. In what would be the most seismic shakeup in recent NFL history, rumors are swirling that the Las Vegas Raiders are on the verge of completing a jaw-dropping deal to acquire superstar quarterback Patrick Mahomes. Sources close to the league suggest that talks between the Raiders' front office and Mahomes' representatives have reached an advanced stage, sparking frenzied speculation about the potential ramifications for both the franchise and the league as a whole. Mahomes, widely regarded as one of the most electrifying quarterbacks of his generation, has dominated headlines with his uncanny ability to extend plays and deliver precision passes under pressure. The Kansas City Chiefs have built much of their recent identity around his talent, winning accolades and championships along the way. To imagine him in silver and black, leading the Raiders' offense, would mark a dramatic shift in the balance of power in the AFC and potentially reshape Super Bowl projections for years to come. Industry insiders indicate that the financial package required to make this deal happen would be nothing short of historic. While exact numbers remain speculative, some estimates hint at a contract that could eclipse anything ever offered to a quarterback in NFL history, combining long-term guarantees with performance-based incentives that reflect Mahomes' superstar status. Raiders fans, long starved for a marquee quarterback capable of transforming the franchise, are reportedly ecstatic at the mere possibility, with social media already abuzz with mock jerseys, highlight reels, and predictions of a new era in Las Vegas. Skeptics, however, caution that nothing is set in stone. Mahomes' legacy in Kansas City is monumental, and uprooting a career at its peak carries enormous risk, not only for the quarterback but for any team attempting to build around him. Moreover, the logistics of structuring such a blockbuster trade are complex, involving cap considerations, draft picks, and potential player swaps that could reshape multiple rosters across the league. Even so, the mere whisper of Mahomes and Raiders silver and black has ignited debate across sports media outlets, from cable shows to fan podcasts. Analysts are already speculating how the Raiders' offensive schemes might evolve, which coaching staff adjustments would be necessary, and how Mahomes' arrival could alter the trajectories of other AFC powerhouses. If finalized, this deal would not only represent a historic moment for Las Vegas, but could also trigger a domino effect across the NFL as teams scramble to respond to a seismic shift in quarterback power. As of now, all eyes remain glued to the unfolding saga, with fans and pundits alike wondering if we are witnessing the dawn of a new NFL dynasty, or simply the most audacious rumor of the season. One thing is certain. If Mahomes really does land with the Raiders, the league will never look the same again. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Las Vegas Raiders, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.